We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high. We will run free with the buffalo or die.
You should kill them before they have a chance to sin. Is that what you?
Well,
saying,
that seems to be the logic. Is if the goal is to have as many kids in heaven, and that's their purpose in life, then it seems to me, you wouldn't risk any chance of hell at all, right? I'm just sort of, following the argument. I'm not saying that that's what Christians believe. I certainly may misunderstand it, and I'm hoping that people can clarify that.
Definitely misunderstand it. I'm not a hardcore Christian or anything like that. I'm actually working through my own faith and everything like that. And you guys are atheists and everything. That's fine. But what you're saying is basically that goes against any sort of moral fiber that religion would try to incorporate. Do you believe in murder yourself, or
Well, I'm quoting from a religious person, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So no, we don't advocate killing. In fact, we think that's really an awful thing, right? So.
Well, I would hope so. Basically.
And that's part of the reason why we brought it up, is we think this is very, very odd sort of, reasoning. So how is it that if the goal is to get as many people to heaven, and there's this danger of hell, how is it that you optimize? If that's the whole purpose of parenting, how
Well, no,
what's the best way to do that?
It's not to ensure that your kids get to heaven. The purpose of parenting is to ensure
that's
that
what
your
this
kids live a healthy life, to ensure that your kids do get education. I don't agree with whatever doctrine you're reading about religious education is the most important thing. It's definitely up there, but the whole purpose of being a parent is to ensure that your kids do lead a healthy life, and killing them is definitely going to repeat
I agree.
It's going to shorten the life a little bit, I agree. But
there's no reason for you to reach that rationale. Even to argue that is just asinine to me. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Well, again, going on the logic, the life that we have here, according to religion typically, is almost a testing grounds. This is the life that you live, the 70, 80 years that you're going to live, are pretty much nothing in compared to the eternal reward of heaven or hell. That's where it really matters. This is the testing grounds. This is to make sure
a little suffering here is no big deal.
Exactly. Right. This is to make sure that you get heaven or hell. Preferably heaven, I assume, by most people. So given that, wouldn't it be the smart thing to do, if you have kids, to kill them early so that they cannot sin, they cannot go to hell, which is infinitely worse than anything that could possibly happen on earth, or heaven, which is infinitely better than anything that could possibly happen by going through and getting a good education and becoming a doctor and, retiring rich.
Would you kill my kids if I asked you to, so they would definitely go to heaven or hell?
Well, no, because I don't believe in any of that stuff.
Well,
we're just arguing from.
If you did believe in it, hypothetically, hypothetically, if you did believe in that, would you kill my kids if I asked you to?
It would seem like it would be the logical.
Well, would you do it though?
Here's the train of thought.
My own future into the equation.
Yeah, here's the train of thought that I have. I don't know if I would do it, because then my place in heaven would be jeopardized. However, yours being the actual parent, I'm assuming that you want the best for your kids. And so if you kill them, that's kind of messing up your spot, granted, but at least your children are guaranteed. And now if it's one child, it's kind of I want the best for him, but it's one child. You got 5 kids, poo. I don't mind giving up my spot. If you have 5 kids, I don't mind giving up my spot, because all my 5 children get to go to heaven. That type of thing.
That seems to be the logic that Andrea Yates went through.
Exactly. So
Andrea Yates was an insane woman.
I'll agree with you.
She's not.
Yeah, I agree completely. But why?
Well, okay. Another thing is, if you understand religion or even the logic of sin, humans are already born with sin according to the doctrine of God. People do not come to this world sinless. The only person that ever existed on the entire planet, in the entire universe, ever was Jesus Christ.
Okay.
If you believe in the Christian doctrine, or perhaps any other Messiah that exists in any other religion, people are not born without sin. Everyone is born with sin.
So if a baby is killed...
So what would be the point of killing children before sin if everyone has sin? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so does a child, assuming a baby dies, does it go to hell or heaven?
I have no clue.
Well, there's various things. There's this whole age of
I'm
reason.
not God. I mean,
different religions say different things typically. Right. Most of them.
We have these left behind books, right, where all the kids before the age of reason got raptured, right?
Yeah,
so they were obviously good.
I don't know of any religion typically that says babies get to go to hell, because nobody likes that concept.
Well, there are in the Buddhist religion, aborted babies, like in Japan, maybe they go to a place. That is a hellish place where there are demons and everything like that. But there is a figure that comes and saves them. So the answer to your question is that yes, babies might go to hell, they might not. But ultimately, because they, like you said, they're not born without sin, but they have not committed the amount of sin. I don't know if that's the right word to use. Amount of sin that you or me might have committed. But
what you're saying is that since we are born with some form of sin, if you kill them early, you don't know, and so it's best to let them live so that they can grow up to be good citizens who do get to heaven, type thing.
It's best to let them grow up so that they have the choice, like you said. Back to this whole education thing. There's scholastic education, there is religious education. If I tell you that the world is flat, the world isn't flat. But how many years did people think the world was flat?
Yeah.
And there comes to a point, there's a crossroads where you have to decide, do you want to believe in this guy that says the world is round and all his evidence, or do you want to believe in the guy who says the world is flat with no evidence?
Yeah. And while I agree what you're saying is that, education has a certain value to it, and growing up, getting good education, good job, and so on is a good thing. Again, just my earlier point was that all shouldn't matter so much as making sure that you lead the good life according to the Bible to get to the heaven.
Well, the good life also incorporates, helping others. It also incorporates doing what's right for other people. It also incorporates, worshiping God and living a righteous life.
So that you get to go to heaven.
And not killing your kids, definitely. It was not a good way to get to heaven. And teaching your kids not to kill their kids is another great way.
Infinite reward that does factor into a lot of this, right?
Yes.
So, okay.
The content of this video is produced by the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization promoting positive atheism and the separation of church and state. If you enjoyed this content and are willing and able to provide a donation, please visit the website below.